Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver
hey guys,
now.
Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. I just posted a private road discussion about silver riggers in the shadows. Go check that out. Go deeper down the rabbit hole of the Silver Institute's fake report. I found more stuff that, I mean, it's so incriminating. If I didn't know that the regulators and the Justice Department was in on the con, I'd be going to them and say, okay, what are you going to do about this? But they're in on it. So what the hell can you do? But it's interesting to see the other people jump on board. And of course, one of the other people in the know was Jeff Christian. Those of you who have been in silver for 5 minutes know who Jeff Christian is. He's a spokesmodel for the banking cabal, the market riggers. Everybody knows it. He even admits he works mainly with the bankers, and voila, there's your answer. Right now, silver is playing around with $30. It'll get up over it probably, I'd say, by the end of April. I'm doing a timeline for everybody tomorrow on the private road if you guys are interested in that. And yeah, 2024 is our year. That's I'm going to give you a breakdown of month by month what my estimates are and see where that goes. But let's talk about Jeff Christian, because he was rolled out, of course, right after the Silver Institute published their annual silver survey. You notice they don't call it a silver report or silver analysis. It's a survey. That way they can say, it's just a survey. We just call people up and say, hey, how much silver are you using? That's pretty much what they do. And then they change the numbers, especially for last year and the year before and the year before. It's obvious it's criminality. Jeff Christian takes another tact. He's always just sticks to his story no matter how many times he's proven wrong. So he rolled out today. You always can tell what the silver riggers are afraid of by what Jeff Christian says. He posted this video, the silver shortage chimera. According to Jeff Christian, though, it bit him in the foot again, obviously, but he says there's a record 5.5 billion ounces of above-ground refined silver inventories. 5.5 billion ounces, okay? These numbers are all lies. All of them. But more than that, who gives a shit? Jeff Christian, at $30 silver, 5.5 billion times 30 is what? 150 plus 165. $165 billion buys every single ounce of silver on the planet. Jeff Christian just told the entire silver industry, all you need is $165 billion and you can own every single ounce of silver on the planet. And I am going to sell you my silver for $30 is what Jeff Christian is telling you, because this blue thing is all the coinage, or greenish, whatever that is. Turquoise. That's all the coinage. I have coinage, Jeff. I'm not selling it for $30. 5.5 billion at $30 silver is $165 billion. What hedge fund can't get there? Any big hedge fund can get their hands around $165 billion. And then they own every silver ounce on the planet. Congratulations. Warren Buffett was on his way there back in the late 90s until they came in and blackmailed him for what he did at General Re, stole about 130 million ounces of silver and used it to create the ETF to rig the silver market, rig the silver prices. Anyway, here's what Jeff Christian says first about this, and then he talks about, now, you got to understand that Jeff Christian won't release his silver report, the Silver CPM Group, until a month after the Silver Institute does. So that way he can, piggyback on the numbers, shall we say. It's really embarrassing. I mean, Jeff, why are you publishing your annual report? Well, that'd be 5 months after the year's over. Because he wants to cheat. Anyway, listen to what he has to say about above ground solar silver. Now, those of you who have watched the route long enough, I've walked you through it. It's like the easiest analysis ever. The silver industry did 252 gigawatts of solar power last year. the year before last, in 2022, the last year before this Wednesday's print. So that's 252, and that's the solar installs for the world, and those are all reported through government agencies. You're required, if you install your solar panels, you're required to tell the government what you're doing, and they publish it because they want to show what a great job they're doing with green energy. Well, the problem is they're publishing their data, and in last year, 2023, it was up 76%. So the Silver Institute had to come close to 76% and explain away why it wasn't 76%. And they even said there wasn't that much silver thrifting amount when you pull silver out, but there was massive addition of TopCon. So they should have been well over 76%, and they were not. They were at 38%. They said 68, but it's actually 38, which I showed in the private road discussion today. So go check it out if you're a private road member at roadtoruta.com. But let's listen to Jeff talk about his take on silver.
If you only look at London and COMEX inventories, you might have the impression that inventories are relatively tight. But you're missing 90% of the market. You're looking at that little maroon band. You're excluding the blue ETF stuff, and you're excluding all of the other silver that's out there. And if you are involved in the market and you know about the incredible increase in silver depository capacity around the world, you know that people who are actually in the business of storing silver are not concerned that we're running out of above ground refined silver inventory.
Then why are you coming on and screaming about it? He only comes on and talks about this stuff when he knows there's a problem. It's hysterical. You can set your watch to it.
Now, question is, okay, those inventories are held largely by investors. There are maybe 1 billion ounces held by banks and trading companies that lease that silver out on a rolling basis to fabricators. And
leased it out on a rolling basis to fabricators is the dumbest thing you can ever imagine. Nobody leases their silver. Nobody would lease their silver. Why would they want to lease their silver? Give me a reason, Jeff. It's insane what he talks about. Pure insanity.
Refiners and smelters and producers. But the vast majority of this 5.5 billion ounces is held by investors. And you say, well, those investors will never sell. Well, some investors will never sell. I mean, I have silver that I've owned for 40 years now. But I also buy and sell other silver.
Investors will sell when the price gets to be traded at fair market value. How's that?
Protect the skin.
All right, we'll give him some money. We'll watch a little commercial here for Jeff.
Protect your skin with La Roche.
All right, that's enough.
In 4 weeks, I think I'll take some profit. So you have seen some of this metal reflow.
So here we go.
We'll continue to see it. Right? So you look at together, no deficit. We're not running out of above.
No deficit. We're on our 5th year of deficit, and he's saying no deficit.
Ground refined inventories. The silver market doesn't face a shortage of silver. Silver use in photovoltaic panels has been another subject that's been up there. Yes, it has increased. It hasn't increased as sharply as some people say. These are numbers that are based on information that comes from the solar panel manufacturing industry, people who are actually using the silver.
These numbers, by the way, are way off what the Silver Institute says. Wait, what's he got? 1 million ounces there and 1 million ounces there. Okay, so Jeff's saying that solar silver is 125 million ounces in 2022. Silver Institute says it was 140. Jeff says this year it went from 125 to looks like about 180 to 85. So 60. It went up 60, it'd be, right around 60 million ounces, which is about a 50% rise. That's what he's saying happened, 50% rise in 2023.
Right? So you can say, well, CPM Group, you talk about all these guys who run depositories, and I'm sure they're all lying to us so that we're not panicking about the price of silver rising. And you say that you talk to all these people who actually use silver making photovoltaics, but they're probably lying and they're probably using a lot more silver. But if you wanted to live in a...
We're not saying that, Jeff. What we're saying is the photovoltaic industry installed 76% more panels than they installed in 2023. And 35% of those panels were TopCon, which uses about 30 to 50% more silver. So anything less than 76% is a lie and a fraud, and that's what we're going to call you out on when you publish your new silver report after you cheat and take the numbers off the Silver Institute report.
World where everybody's lying to you. If everybody is lying, if what they're telling you doesn't jive with your conspiracy theory, you're welcome to do that. But you're probably missing out on reality. You're probably worried about that chimera. This is data from the International Energy Agency's 2023 World Energy Outlook. And I don't know how well you can see it, but that blue line is what they call the STEP solar photovoltaic panel capacity additions. And the yellow stuff and the blue line in the yellow zone represent.
This is shocking how wrong this is, but we all know the IEA is a joke institution. None of this is right. But look at the capacity. 2023, he's saying it's under 400. It's 380. That's completely wrong. 2023 was 443 right here. The whole world knows it. Hey, Jeff, anybody can pull a chart from anything in solar to say, hey, here's what's really happening. And they're all different,
present their
which I
projections
learned.
Between 2022 and 2030. And you can see a very sharp increase in the capacity additions over the past 10 years, 20 years, and then a plateauing out over the next 10 years. And one of the reasons why they say that is the dotted blue line, which I hope you can see. That is the capacity utilization.
Anyway, you get the idea. Jeff seems to think that we can build as many solar panels as we want because the amount of silver going into them won't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because he says so. We talk to people. We know people, Bix. You don't understand. We know people. Oh, my God. It's crazy. Good news is IIBX actually had a silver trade. They haven't done anything as the prices rise. In India, this is the Indian Silver Exchange. Very rare that India buys in a rising price. And I'm like, oh, wow, they bought a little bit. It was a small purchase of, what is that? I wrote it down too. Only 60 million ounces, or 60,000 ounces, but it was actually movement because it hasn't moved since the April 8th. So April 8th, so that was 11 days where not one lot was traded. And the lots are 20 kilograms, and there's 32.15 ounces per kilogram. So again, at the beginning of the month, they did, let's see, right at the beginning, April 2nd, 96,000, and then 298,000, 125,000, and 32. Comes out to about 500,000, well below, but remember, April has been well below what they've been doing, but April has been a high price month for silver, and India doesn't buy on high prices. But they did in their imports, which was 33 million ounces back January in March. So the first quarter, and I talked about this on another video, the first quarter had 130 million ounces imported into India. At this pace, they'll have 520 million ounces by the end of the year. Million. Yeah, I said million. And their old record was a couple years ago. They had 300 million. Everybody was shocked. They're on pace to do 520. If silver gets slammed down again, you're going to see a massive jump in the amount traded on the IIBX and the massive jump in the amount imported into India. Rock and a hard place, my friends. The silver cabal is absolutely trapped. That's why they trot out guys like Jeff Christian. More news on the Baltimore bridge that went down. They're saying it's massive disruptions. No estimate for when it's going to be fixed. Kind of like Lahaina in Maui. People, they're not even allowed to. I don't think they're allowed to go home yet. And it's like, okay, what are you waiting for? They're waiting for the big money to come in and swoop up the most amazing property on the planet. Oh, well, that's our government. So I don't think they're going to fix anything in the next few years. Could take 5-10 years, is what they're saying. Which means that COMEX warehouses, there's a lot of LME and COMEX warehouses that go under that bridge with metal all across the world. That's what Jenny Moonstone had seen before the bridge collapsed. She's like, there's a bridge collapse, and in the future, that's going to be a problem. I think that will be one of the excuses, along with the war, to declare force majeure in the silver COMEX contracts and the LBMA. Force majeure, keep an eye out. It'll happen soon. If this war pops off anymore, they can use that. But I think it's going to be a combination of war and the Baltimore Bridge is the reason why they can't deliver any more silver, and why silver goes from $30 to, you name your price. 600 is my first stop. After 50 bucks, 600. Could bounce around there a little bit. There's a couple reasons why, and then go into the thousands per ounce. By the way, this is per ounce. So should you have as much physical silver in your possession as possible? Yes, for like a million reasons. The number one reason is the banks are going down, and the FDIC doesn't have any money, as we found out when they didn't bail out whatever it was called, Signature Bank and those guys. The Fed bailed them out. The FDIC didn't. The FDIC is a criminal organization, by the way, even more than the Fed. Well, actually, no. I'd say the FDIC is just dumb. They're not criminal. They're dumb. And it's dumb for people to believe that having, I think it's $130 billion of reserves when you insure about $15 trillion, including derivatives, which they do. It's guaranteed destruction right there. So, yeah. Of course, they had to bail out Signature Bank and Fidelity, and it wasn't Fidelity, First Republic, and Signature, First Republic, and the Silicon Valley Bank. Huge, massive banks. Massive fraud going on there, too. Deep state all the way. That's Sam Bankman-Fried's parents have probably banked there with Oprah and the deep staters. Jeffrey Epstein. Can't talk about that on YouTube, though. Also, I did had a discussion with Sean at SGT Report. Go over to Rumble and go to sgtreport.com. YouTube doesn't like it when I say this because they kicked them off years ago, so I won't say the name, but it's right there. $300 sandwiches and $2,000 silver. Go check that interview out. I also put it on the front page at roadtoruta.com. Right below further analysis of the criminal silver survey. So check that out, and that's what I got for you. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.